Hello and welcome to the class today. So, the topics for today's class are dramatization and role play methods of teaching in the subject Pedagogy of a School Subject History. As we all know that there are certain teaching methods which are suitable for certain subjects, and if we talk about the subject history, dramatization and role play methods play a very important role in teaching of history as and the learning objectives for today's class is to understand the classification of different teaching strategies, to understand the role of dramatization method in teaching history, and also to understand the utilization of role play method in teaching history. So let us now first discuss about the method dramatization first. Dramatization teaching method refers to a collection of teaching tools that include drama techniques, storytelling method, role playing, games, etc. So a lot of emphasis has been placed on engaging students through interactive activities. Dramatic teaching is integrated into many different types of curriculum. So dramatization has been described as a synthetic art involving the purposive coordination and control of the delicate organs of speech and muscles of the body combined with the sense of rhythm with a view to free and intelligent expression of emotions and ideas. So, students are given full freedom to make use of their expressions, emotions, ideas. And with this, they get involved in the concept, they get to know about the concept, they get to understand the concept. So it is one of the most important tools in the teaching of history. And it is not only a co curricular activity, but also a very useful teaching device. So it is sometimes used as a part of co curricular activities in school. So this is not so. We can actively and properly, appropriately use in our teaching subjects also. So the introduction of this device in teaching is useful due to various reasons, and let us now discuss the various reasons. The first one is it gives reality and concreteness to the learning situation. So it makes the abstract ideas which are still there in our mind when we teach about history, because in history we cannot show the students about the reality, the concrete situation. So the abstract ideas are able to be presented before them in concrete and real manner. So the story of Maharana Pratap is told verbally, does not make such a lasting effect on the mind as when it is presented to them in the form of a living drama. So in that case, the suffering, the sacrificing, the struggle for the striving for a very high ideal is just presented before the pupils, and his every action is concrete and real. And this helps in creating imagination in the minds of the pupil. So this is how we can utilize dramatization method in our classrooms. It is not always that we have to prepare at a very vast level, or at a very grand level. We can do that in simple forms for short period of time, for one group at a time. So this depends on teacher that how they plan out about the using of this method. Next is the next utilization of this kind of method is it serves as an audio visual aid. So a drama is just like an audio visual aid. So it is giving the we are able to hear the dialogues, and also we are able to see that. So the learners visualize the learning situations and hear about it at the same time. So as many sense organs are used here, they cooperate in receiving the impression. Therefore, the effects are deep and lasting. And this is what a teacher wants, that they retain their knowledge forever. Then the next utilization is selected learning situations. So, a drama in teaching presents selected learning situations which are more valuable than ordinary episodes, which we see every day. So this has to be selected by the teacher, that what kind of things they want our students to see. And they actually, in real life situations also, they witness many things, but in a drama we want them to witness certain things which are useful for them. So in our planned educational dramas, we present the most desirable things only to our students. So this could be selected by our teacher, that the undesirable things which need not be, the controversial things which need not be shared with our students, should not be presented before them, and they should not be given any idea also regarding that. Then the other utilization is the concentrated effects. The movements in a drama are very quick, because it is a live play which is going on in front of the students, and it is original, innovative, because they do not know that what exactly has been said. They prepare it on their own, so the movements just go on very quickly. Something good of the whole life of somebody may be put before the audience in a short time of 3 hours, or whatever time has been decided. Good things come swiftly, one after the other, in a concentrated form, and therefore the effects are also very quick and deep. So it is so grasping. Sometimes the students just concentrate whatever is going on. They want to learn more and more what is going to happen, how it is going to happen, how much effective it is. That can also be evaluated by the teacher after the drama ends. So this can be included in his planning part for that. So there are various methods which to use dramatization teaching method in our classrooms. Then there is opportunity of expression. The urge of expression is very strong in childhood and even afterwards. They want to show their activeness. They also want to show what other students are doing. They also want appraisal. They also want the things with what they want to do at that time. So dramatization offers opportunity to the children for this purpose. So they get opportunity to express themselves, how they want to express, yeah, how they want to um, express their thoughts, their dialogues, the meaning of the concept, the particular event, the particular episode which has taken place, or they want to show how the person in reality was, what was their individual personality, the good things about the person's personality. So this is how they can express in their own way also, and they can copy from someone also. The training of organization of things. So children here organize such activities themselves, and therefore they are trained in the traits of leadership and responsibility. So as a drama is not complete by if there is only one person who is portraying a role, so it in this kind of method, a group is required, and a group in a group there will be a leader who will assign duties to the group members, and this is how they will prepare everything on their own. So the director of the drama will be amongst them. The role players will be there, the actors will be there, the villains will be there. So everything will be from within that group only. So they will organize the activity, how they have to present before the audience, whether they want to change the costume or they just want to do it in their uniforms. Just they can create a background, or they can use make use of many props. So how they are going to do this, it totally depends on them. They are independent in doing that. So they develop certain leadership qualities also, and they become responsible for whatever they are showing on the stage. And it is an healthy competition if it is presented in the classroom. So it can be done at a very low level within the classroom for just 5 to 10 minutes, or at a very perfection level on the stage in front of other classes, or in front as a part of competition. So various kinds of skills are developed in the students. Then development of social virtues. Children learn to cooperate and work for others in such activities, because if the dramas need to be, presented before the audience, it has to be well prepared. There should be proper rehearsal. So for that, they have to cooperate with many people. If it is to be done on the stage, they have to take prior permissions from many people. Maybe the cooperation of teacher is required, so teacher will always be there. It cannot be done without the help of a teacher. So the next utilization for dramatization is motivation for learning. So children are motivated to learn effectively their concepts. They prepare their own parts, which are allowed to them in the drama thoroughly. They study the parts of others also, so that they will be able to give continuity to the story. Because when they know that when other one is going to say a particular dialogue or do a certain activity, then only he will be able to pursue further, so proceed further. So this is how they have to study their own parts, and they have to study the others parts also. In this way, every actor prepares the whole study thoroughly. So, on the other hand, the audience also hear and try to understand everything which is spoken with a great interest. So, this is, if it is done effectively, it can motivate students for learning, and they will also feel pride in doing something new. It is a boon for the introverts, because there are certain students who are shy and withdrawn, and they have introvert qualities in them. They do not like to speak in front of others. They do not like to show their qualities in front of others. So such kind of students also gets opportunities to come up and thus overcome their feelings of inferiority which they feel in front of other active students or other gifted students. So teachers can make use of it to help students gain deeper insights into lessons. It is built on concepts and themes. Various themes can be decided by the teachers as a means to test the student knowledge. So there could be an evaluation part so that the students take these kind of activities seriously. So the dramatization can be arranged in a various forms. Like various types of drama can be played, ranging from simple action to well rehearsed full length play. So there are certain kinds of dramas which the students need to be made aware of, and also the teacher need to be aware of. Like the full length play, in which the whole event is shown. It can go on for many hours. Then there is pantomime, which is the musical comedy stage show for just for the purpose of entertainment, which is in the form of music. Proper music is there, and the dialogues can also be in the form of musical dialogues. The pageant. In this kind of drama, the people dress up in certain historical, characters, and they thus present before the audience the historical events. The tableau. This is the drama game. This is based on the activity which is done by the students. This can be done in the form of game. Then there is the use of puppetry. This we have discussed, that puppets are also a kind of teaching aids which can be used in the class. And what will be better if it is used in the history class? So in the form of puppets also, the students can take form of puppets, or they can tell a story with the help of puppets. So a storytelling technique and many other techniques can be integrated with dramatization, and thus that will be creative for the students. So there are various kinds of advantages if we use the dramatic kind of teaching method in our studies, in our history class. So it affords innumerable opportunities for the correlation of large number of subjects. So it is not only for the subject history, we can just use it for the correlating with other events and the concepts of the subjects. So while preparing for the roles, the students indirectly and unconsciously improve their speech habits and language. Because if they have to, announce the dialogues, they have to say the dialogues, it should be in proper language. The way in which they have prepared, written it, In that way, they will try to improve their vocabulary, they will improve their speech habits, the voice modulation, how to say certain dialogues on the stage, or they have to understand about the personality, the role which they are playing. So they will put in efforts for that. So they will unconsciously improve their speech habits and develop confidence among using of the proper language. A systematic study of historical events is made when pageants of the life of great persons are prepared. So when historical dramas are played, that can be done on the life of Buddha, Chandragupta Maurya, Vikramaditya, Gandhiji, etc. The famous personalities who have their own, the characters, the traits that need to be taught to others. They with the help of small movies, small documentaries, we can, with the help of proper music, these kinds of systematic pageants can also be organized. So the next advantage is preparing of the costumes at suiting different ages. Thus, children come to know about the dresses of the people during different periods of history. Yes, this is very important. This is a small part, but yes, with the help of teachers, they come to know that how they have to dress up, what kind of props they need to use, and what things were used at that time. They should be familiar with that, and for that, they have to go thoroughly with the character, with the historical events, with the background, with the proper sources through which they come to know about what kind of dresses were worn at that time. Dramatics add to the geographical knowledge of the students when they try to find out more about their character, their role, when they are preparing for a drama. They find out the names of various places which were given in ancient times. They were known as different places, and in modern times the names of those places have changed. If they are talking about the world history, then how the spread of Christianity or how the spread of Islam throughout the world, or they are displaying the drama regarding the world wars, anything which is related to the geographical locations, they will improve their knowledge certainly. Various kinds of arts like carpentry or mechanical arts, decoration, construction of the stage, because they have to put efforts in presentation part. So presentation should be such effectively done that the observers who are sitting, the audience who are sitting, gain something from it. So the efforts which are being put by the students and the teachers need not to be wasted. And dance and music, if it is given to the drama, it adds to the beauty of the drama. So these kind of props and extra technical help can be taken from the experts, or the students among themselves can also, if they are expert in those areas, they can do that. So the proper direction, proper implementation, and the evaluation is effective. So this can also develop various skills among the students. It has a great social value. It is a cooperative enterprise and develops qualities of cooperation and social understanding. It helps in fostering spirit of cooperation among the students. So in various school function dramas, the chief items of the programs, they try to cooperate with each other, and these kind of school functions are implemented very swiftly. It goes on very swiftly with the help of this only. So every student works to the best of his capacity for the honor of the school. They want to show, they want to feel pride, they feel confident that they are going to show something in front of the whole audience, in front of the whole students. So they learn the technique of organizing programs, carrying out with efficiency. They understand very well the schedule which they have to follow. So every student works to their best capacity. Dramatics afford the students many opportunities for training in teamwork. So this is very important for if we want to teach them how to work collaboratively, how to work cooperatively. They are very helpful in providing the students with opportunities for the release of the inhibitions which they have, the shy qualities which they have, to which they are subjected by the conventions of society. So there are certain rules, traditions, customs which are followed by a society, which are set up by the society before us. So it helps us to make them understand that they what kind of things need to be done away with in our society, what things should be promoted. So it leads to scientific understanding also. So students of diverse aptitudes get chances to choose items for which they are best suited. They must not be knowing that earlier, but after getting such chances, after maybe they are being forced, but still after doing that, if they feel happy and they feel confident, then they know that they can do everything if they are being motivated for anything. So it satisfies their urges. That is example, the self expression, what they want to show to the world, to other people, to their peer group, through the various activities of a drama. Even a role of a small 2 seconds or 3 seconds is important for them. Just being standing on a stage is important for them. So yes, if you have to carry out a successful drama, there need to be certain conditions which need to be performed, fulfilled. Until that, we cannot say that dramatization method has been successful. And if we are making use of such innovative techniques in our class, then it should be done with the proper preparation. And this is how you will need to show the students that how proper successful arrangements can be done. So for first thing which need to be done is the rehearsals. A number of rehearsals bring grace and success to the play when it is staged. So it brings confidence among the students also. So pupils should prepare as much stage material as they can. They should do rehearsals on the place where they have to perform the drama. So a proper rehearsal is very much necessary. You cannot remember the dialogues if you are not rehearsing properly, and the others will be able to observe, and the teachers will be able to supervise and guide how to improve more and more. Then the next part is the selection of appropriate role. So children should be encouraged to write their own plays. They should be encouraged to write their own dialogues. So the usual participants in this activity should be given opportunities to play different roles. So it should not be based on any bias attitude, and students should be free to select their own roles, or they can select each other's roles, who is suitable for what. So the same pupils, as far as possible, should, however, not be allowed the pay to play the role of a villain. So it depends totally on the students that what kind of roles they want to play, what they have been thinking in their mind, or as a group, or as a group leader, how they have decided what kind of roles one should play, based on their character, based on their vocabulary, or the ability to be active in drama. So this depends totally on the group. Then the selection of the play. This is also very important. What kind of play they are going to do present before the audience. So plays should depict the evils of the social customs. So it should be educational. Yes, it will be based, that certain amusing dialogues can be incorporated, or any kind of music will make it interesting. So, but they should also depict the educational values. So the evils of the social customs can be shown. They should have a literary value. The student should be able to understand and appreciate the play. So they should learn that what kind of art, it's a form of art. So the student should know that how to appreciate good things. It should also have entertainment value, as we have discussed. It should be free from objectionable subject matter. So for this, while doing rehearsals, the teachers will be able to guide them that what kind of controversial things or wrong things have been added, and which things can be done in better way. So any kind of controversial or objectionable things shall be removed from the play. So there should be novelty in the play. It should not be copied from anywhere, because we want our students to learn to do their work in their own way. So they should be do things in innovative way, in creative way, and bring some new things in front of the audience. So the originality will always be become a particular, talk among the audience if it is novel, creative, and it will be become interesting for the audience also. So this is how we have discussed about the dramatization method, and just similar to that method is the role play method, where the students get to play the roles by depicting any event or something like that. So we can incorporate the role play method and dramatization as one technique also. So, role play is an educational method in which people spontaneously act out problems of human relations and analyze the enactment with the help of other role players and observers. So, basically, here the audience are the observers. So, this is how the role play can take place. So, role playing is a discussion technique basically that makes possible to get maximum participation of a group through acting out an example of some problem or idea under discussion. So, it plays more of a kind of a, we can say, educational value is more in role plays, and dramatization can be used more as entertainment for entertainment purposes also. So it is a technique which helps students to explore realistic situations by interacting with other people in a managed way, and in order to develop experience and trials, different strategies in a supported environment. So it is a kind of a learning by doing method. It is a cognitive learning method. So here the students need to participate. So we can say it is a participatory teaching method. So the essence of the role play is it can be divided in two broad methods, that is sociodrama and psychodrama. So sociodrama deals with the interactions of people with other individuals or groups like mother, nurse, leader. So it's kind of a social drama. It always involves situations of more than one person and deals with problems related to majority of the group. And here is the psychodrama. It is practiced in group setting and is mainly concerned with unique needs and problems of a particular individual. As the name suggests, it is related to psychology, the behavior part. So the audience identify with roles in a role playing, or they can also develop critical observations that it is related to the learning part. So depending on the intention of the activity, there could be certain purposes why role play method is being used by a teacher: to present interpersonal problems, to provide emotional and affective stimulus for solving various problems, to provide awareness about social and psychological issues, to develop a situation for analysis. It need to be pondered upon by the audience, to prevent alternative courses of action, to prepare for meeting future situations. So this is how we are using role play method based on certain purposes. So participants, here can might be playing a role similar to their own, or likely one which they need to play in future, or they could play the opposite part of the conversation or interaction. So both options provide the possibility of significant learning. It develops an understanding of other points of view. It conveys information to develop specific skills. But there are certain principles which need to be followed when we make use of certain teaching methods. Like in role play, it is based on the philosophy that meanings are in people and not in words or symbols. So this we need to understand, that while making use of role play strategy, the role plays are being done by certain actors. The reason is that they want to find out the meaning in the while interacting with each other. So if philosophy is accurate, one must in the first place share the meanings, then clarify our understanding of each other's meaning, and finally, if necessary, change our meanings. So this is how we can interact with each other, communicate with each other. For example, a role play can be done of an interviewer and interviewee. So this is how they may able to share the meaning and concepts with each other, interact with each other. They can clarify the understanding of each other's meanings, and finally they can necessarily change the meanings. So role play has certainly to do with the self concept. The concept is best changed through direct involvement in a realistic and life related problem situation rather than hearing about such situations from others. So creating a teaching situations that lead to change of self concept, it requires a distinct organization pattern. So it should be flexible. So role play should be bring stimulus variation. It brings a stimulus to think and should not be an escape from discipline or learning. So there is no single best method of selecting the characters. The group may do the assigning as we discussed in the dramatization method, but it requires rehearsal as an important feature to produce the effective desired outcome and for audience to help players interpret their roles. So role play should be done for a brief period so that the attention of audience may be captured effectively. So if the dramas are for a longer period, so maybe it will not be able to capture the attention because our mind wanders after some period of time. So enough time should be allowed for discussion and analysis of the situation. So this is how role plays are organized. Role play evaluates the teachers and participants through discussions or the follow-up procedure which goes on to specific individual behavior or sequence of group actions. So there are three steps which can be used in while implementing the role play method, and that they are the planning phase, implementation phase, and the evaluation phase. So first of all, there is the planning phase. And during the planning phase, the following points need to be considered. That is the selection of a problem for a role. So what kind of theme will we select? Why do we need this role play? And what problem need to be analyzed or put before the audience? So then set up the role play scene. What will be the scene? How it will start, how it will implemented, and how it will end. Then getting underway in role play, then there is the implementation part, and then how the small problem can be discussed in a wide manner, in a comprehensive manner, or we can discuss about the various aspects or analyze the problem. Now first, the group leader recognizes a problem that can be effectively role played and suggested to the group. The group can then list problems on the blackboard or make a note in the notebook and decide problem they want to work out. So now they set up the role play scene. The group should come to a clear agreement on the chief objectives to be realized in role planning. So the group must determine what characters are to be involved, the attitudes and personality of the character, the setting of the story, and the point at which the story should begin, or how it will proceed, or how it will end. Now getting underway in role play, the role takers are usually go out of the room and they are given a few minutes to warm up or get a feeling of the roles they are about to play. So it can be a spontaneous activity also. They do it then and there in the classroom, or they have been given a whole day to prepare for that. Specify names other than their own, and they can be left free to select their own group. So they should be used to get them into their roles. So for this, they have to understand what they want to do and how they want to do. So the role players should attempt to express the attitudes the group has assigned to the various characters, as well as achieve the goals which have been decided upon. The story grows out of natural reactions of the characters enacted in role playing. So sometimes it may be spontaneous, in which they develop their own dialogues at the same point of time. So those members who are not involved in the role play must act as the observers. So they may be assigned to watch particular role players or to look for important clues that come out of role playing. So now, making the role play comprehensive in the next step in the planning part, the leader may cut at a point where enough action has already occurred to provide a basis for discussion. The leader may get immediate reaction of role players, how they felt for their roles, how they responded to others' response in the scene. The leader may use the role name of each person in the discussion so that they all get into the roles like the films and the dramas which they watch on the television, so that the players does not feel he is being evaluated. When role players succeed in projecting themselves into their roles assigned to them, they usually give valuable insight into the problem and provide additional material for discussion. Now the next stage comes for the implementation part. Now the whole of discussion has been done, everything has been prepared, what problem will be selected, how the roles will be played, the roles have been distributed among the players. Now the implementation phase comes, and action, as the director says. So the implementation, as the audience are the observers, they constitute the heart of role playing. We usually consider their opinion as an important feedback. So feedback is sought as to how did the group think the role was handled, what were the good points of action, or what were the poor points, or what need to be included and what has been omitted from the role play. Now, the what is the role of the role playing observers? So this might be played by different people, so that there might be a comparison of the behaviors of different people. After that, the evaluation part of the observers, there is a summarizing phase, what we have achieved through this act, or after going through this kind of role playing method. The leader sums up to the group chief points or principles which have come out in the playing, and the comments of the observers that follow. So the comments on specific problems should be taken under consideration if they feel that there are certain issues which need to be taken up, so that should be taken under consideration. And now what can take place is, the individual study is done by the observers. Then there is a comparison of the roles which have been displayed in front of the observers. Then there is a group discussion among the students, and then the last conclusion is that they summarize what things to be adopted, what is the conclusion of the part, what they have seen on the stage, or what kind of role play has been done, what kind of things follow up can be done for the next time. They know that what should be good things should be incorporated and what should be omitted. So there are many advantages of using role play method. Children have always learned from mimicking or duplicating the action of others, including their parents and peers and whosoever they see. So role playing is simply a continuation of the learning already done by the students. So people enjoy playing, especially young people, they enjoy doing this kind of works. If students are already motivated to role play, learning through play would become even easier. So role playing encourages the use of critical thinking because it involves analyzing and problem solving. So therefore, role play is a cognitive learning method. It teaches many lessons. Some of the most important lessons it teaches as that lessons that are needed in society: competition, cooperation, empathy. So they improve certain kinds of skills. Participation in role play allows students to make decisions, and through the feedback he or she receives, he sees the results of his actions and can therefore learn how to adjust his words and actions to produce more likable results. So role play allows for the interaction between classmates and peers. It also allows introvert students to speak out, express their views. It helps to break down the cliques. It breaks down the ice which is there among the students. So role play allows for the exchange of knowledge between students. The teacher is also able to see the various capabilities of students at the same time. So maybe there are some hidden qualities among the students which they were not aware of earlier. So after these kind of activities only, the teachers will be able to identify various capabilities. It also develops communication skills, how to interact with each other, how to work with each other, how to communicate, what kind of dialogues they should write, how they should deliver their dialogues. So it develops sensitivity towards others' feelings, because when they come to know about the characters of the others, so they develop, they think, they do the critical thinking and develop sensitive attitude towards others. It develops skills in group problem solving. It develops ability to observe and analyze situations, and it also encourages independent thinking of a situation. So it is very much role playing can be used in every kind of area, like for recreating any scene in the educational area, for therapeutic purposes, or for socialization skills. So it creates positive impact. It creates, develops confidence. It gives credibility to the role makers who are the actors there. They develop self esteem. They develop self awareness, for which they didn't know that this was there. They get a safe environment to say their feelings, to express their emotions. They are given the challenge to for more solutions, how to solve a problem. They develop a sense of accountability towards every work they do. So productivity, the product is can be seen in front of us. So role play can play a lot of give us a lot of advantages for the students. But there are certain disadvantages also, like role playing is a means and not an end. So it is only a means to reach to achieve certain characteristics or the traits. It is not the end for everything. It requires expert guidance and leadership. So the students on their own cannot do everything. So proper regular guidance is required. Participants may sometimes feel threatened that they have to do this. They feel, worried every time that they have to do this. They have to participate. If they do not do carry out this kind of activity, they may get punishment from the teacher. So they are sometimes feeling pressurized to do these kinds of activities. It is used as an education technique, not as a therapeutic one, and heavily depends on the student's imagination, because students have to imagine what kind of situation or event activity was at that time. So it is time consuming in developing group readiness. If the group members are not agreed with each other, so it may take time. It is limited only by the teacher's ingenuity and realistic use. So the whole things come upon the teacher's shoulders, that they have to prepare it properly. They have to guide the students properly, so that the time is not wasted, so that they learn what the objective is in the mind of the teacher. So this is how we learned today about the two teaching methods which are related with each other: the dramatization part and the role play method technique. And you can go through various kinds of references for learning about more about these kind of techniques and how to use it effectively in your classroom. Now we will move on to our next section, that is the evaluation questions part. And the question number 1 is: identify the wrong statement regarding disadvantages of role play method. So the options are: role play is a means and not an end. It requires expert guidance and leadership. Participants may sometimes feel threatened. Role play allows for the interaction between classmates and peers. So after going through all the options, we can see that the first three are definitely the disadvantages of role play method. But the fourth option, role play allows for the interaction between classmates and peers, is not a disadvantage, but instead it is a advantage. So it can help cooperation, growing interaction between the classmates and with the peers. Question number 2 is: dash method also allows introvert students to speak out. The options are role play, lecture, demonstration, or none of the above. So in this, lecture is a teacher-centered method, demonstration is a teacher-centered method, and none of the above is not a correct option. So the option which is there, correct one, is the role play method. It gives opportunity to the students to express themselves. Even the introvert students, they would like to speak out in front of others. Question number 3 is: we usually consider their opinion as an important feedback during role play. So, whose opinion is considered as important feedback during the role play? So, the options are principal, supervisors, student observers, or technicians. So, this we have discussed that there are certain observers who give the advantages and the disadvantages, who tries to do the critical thinking and inspires us that what was the best thing, analyzes the situation and gives us the correct the feedback. So whoever is not participating in the role play method, who is not in the group, they play as a role of observers during role play. So the correct answer is student observers. Question number 4 is which is not the condition for success in dramatization? So there were certain conditions which need to be followed if we want an effective dramatization. And the options are rehearsals, roles, selection of play, or explanation. So the first three options are correct, and these are the conditions which need to be followed for the successful enactment of dramatization. And explanation does not play any role there. So the success story begins with the first three options. Question number 5 is identify the wrong kind of dramatization. So we discussed about various kind of dramatization which is which can be used during this use of utilization of this technique. And the options are full length play, the pantomime, the pageant, or the demonstration. And the first three options are definitely the kind of dramatization which we can make use of in the class. And demonstration is another method of teaching. It is not a kind of dramatization. Next question is dash helps in collaborative learning. So what helps in collaborative learning? The options are video games, LCD projector, dramatization, or drawing. So the answer is dramatization, because through dramatization only we can, if we go through the options here, the correct one is that which helps in the collaborative learning. The next question is, in this technique of dramatization, a screen is placed between the actors and audience. So this is also one kind of dramatization. The options are shadow play, puppetry, the pageant, or the tragedy. So the correct option is shadow play. So as the name suggests, in order to reflect in shadow of the actors on screen, light is kept at their back and the audience see only the shadow and not the actors. So this is how the shadow play can also be used while using as one of the techniques of dramatization. Next question is, dash in teaching presents selected learning situations which are more valuable than ordinary episodes which we see every day. So the options are lecture, problem, drama, or serial. So the correct answer is drama, because it only presents selected learning situations. Not every kind of situation we can present in the form of drama. So certain episodes which we want our students to learn in desirable way, which is different from the way which they have seen earlier. So drama kind of techniques could be used. It always next question is, what it always involves situations of more than one person and deals with problems related to majority of the group. So the options are sociodrama, sociograph, society, or social structure. So here we have discussed that there are two kinds of role plays which can be done, that is the sociodrama and the psychodrama. So the correct answer is the sociodrama. The last question is, which of the following is not the steps of role play? The options are planning phase, implementation phase, evaluation phase, or the cartoon phase. So we can clearly identify that the cartoon phase is not one of the steps which need to be taken out prepared during the role play method. The planning, implementation, and evaluation phase, and after that the summarizing phases, are the important steps of role play. So with this, we come to the end of the class, and thank you very much, and see you in the next class, students.